welcome to the Upside Down, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Shanghai on what seems to be a bit of a cloudy day. I have no clue where that is, but I'll tell you one thing, it looks like the Bund. And this looks like the desk of the LPL English. My name's Jake Taric, FLICKR, joined by Brento Raz Muhammad, who's in a very good mood after what was a very good game number one.
Yeah, cloudy.
Yeah. Not sure what I could say, you know, like, not tested the limits.
But it was a pretty cloudy day there for BLG.
Well said.
Yeah, there we go. It was a bad situation if you're ADD. If your name is specifically ADD, you're having a bad time on the Rift right there.
Oh, you started.
But we got to sing with the praises here. As our MVP for that one goes to...
Bring it up. It's XX in the jungle, ladies and gentlemen. Now, why? Because this man started the fire that burnt BLG.
94%. I'm in it.
That's some good stuff.
At all times. Yeah, he was doing a great job. I was doubting the people in the back when it came down to MVPs because I thought XX did well. That he did real well. He controlled the situation. He had his eyes on the prize on the top side of the map. He was the reason why they had a great early game alongside ADD. And he was the reason why they kept up in it. His engages as well, a lot of the team fights were like fabulous. His Cataclysm was able to nail down a lot of situations. It gave, actually, Knight a fantastic position to be able to come in the back line. So, good job ultimately to him.
And I know you were talking about Knight potentially being the MVP because of the way he played. What are you looking at my watch? Because this game was like the Lucian mid was untouchable because there's so many damage elements of BLG you have to control.
Yeah, and the team fights in general, like whenever it came down to moments where like Ryze was picked off because he started the fight, you were like, okay, great. Like that took a lot of time. You're able to get him off the map, and he had the most gold too. Yeah, that's fine. But then it's like, who's the next target? Well, then maybe we focus on like, let's say the Lux that comes at you. But then you forget about the fact that Knight's running rampant in the fight.
And, you know, there's also a Kaiser in there as well.
And he just darts in. So there are a lot of great moments from top in this game in particular that goes to show that they can play triple threat within their composition.
Yeah, that's right. And top esports continue to be this team that's growing on us more and more as the season goes on, just like summer, or spring, excuse me. I think top esports going into Rift Rivals, they look to be in really good form.
Yes, 100%. Come to the realization that you know, our lowest seeded team, specifically speaking to FPX number 3, Top Esports number 4, are looking fabulous at this point in time. So good job to them, and more of a question mark to
IG, JDG.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Match of the week. So like that's a fun moment to be able to see, but I want to get some moments in the game. So like let's start running footage.
Roll the tape.
Roll the footage.
Roll the footage.
For me, this was one of the moments we already highlighted. Of course, this is ADD in the first gank, which I'm fine with, right? You probably expected the Jinjiao to be up top side. But then, of course, the teleport comes through, ended up dying. This is another moment where Jinjiao fully commits to the killing out the wards, and being in the area. Didn't have much control or idea of where the enemy team was because there was a lot of great control wards behind him that allowed that realm warp to be possible too. So Top Esports were able to back him up, get the kill immediately on Jinjiao, and were able to run rampant on this team. So great positioning from Top Esports to begin with. This was the moment that I talked about, by the way, where 369 looks for the pick on top of Nautilus, gets caught out, sure, but just take a look at Knight. Already moving and getting as much damage as possible towards both Meteor and Kuro, so Kuro took a lot of damage to begin with, comes into the back half of the fight, completely obliterated. And the things that I spoke about within the game, not so much at this moment, was the fact that Cataclysm did a lot of work. You know, when you ended up seeing Kennen finally get his ultimate across, who did he hit? One person. So that was just one of those situations. Very difficult for you know, BLG to play through. But at the end of the day, you had weak solo lanes. That was just going to be the fact. That's right. Be the case. And it was accelerated by the fact that the early game mistakes that came through were just the biggest issues that you had to continue. If we had an option, I'd be rolling that first replay of ADD getting not just ganked. I think the gank was fine. It's more so like the teleport on that minion. I'd be rolling that tape 3 times in a row.
Yeah. Because imagine if it's only one death, right? It's first blood going to the Jarvan. Recoverable.
Yeah.
The second time, that's when it starts to hurt.
That's sad. That's the sad face.
It was just so rough here for BLG from the get-go. As we mentioned, it was under 5 minutes. And the rest of the map suffered for it, where members like Jinjiao and XinMo, although they were having such a good lane on the Sivir Nautilus, it was influenced by the rest of the map being a bit further ahead.
And a strong point to make as we see solo lanes being able to come through for Top Esports is the fact that, you know, globally we have this conversation that there are so many flex picks that blue side is the place you want to be on. That blue side has, you know, really the pick of the litter when it comes to power picks, Aatrox, Yuumi, Sylas right now, like Akali, Irelia, if you have the Sejuani in tow. There's actually just so much that you have to deal with if you're on red side. But Red Side in the LPL has actually had the higher win rate.
Yes, it has.
Red Side has just been far more successful. If you're looking towards the best teams in the league, FPX is a great example. Top Esports also has a great win rate.
They really
These
do.
are teams that have like fabulous, huge champion pools, teams that are willing to make risks when they have the last pick. You saw in the last game, the Lucian mid lane, you won't see that globally.
Yep.
But you're able to see it here because Top Esports are confident in Knight's ability to be able to play out in the best matchups for himself. So he's able to get the job done. Thankfully, because of the early advantage that happened in 2v2 top side. But of course, he was confident, played as well as possible, put himself on side lane when it was needed. Thought what we saw from Top Esports was great League of Legends.
I love that ADD cutout, by the way. But as you're talking about win rates and the comparison here is that for BLG, higher blue side win rate maybe more steady with the rest of the world, and how BLG compare as a team in the LPL, especially after the LNG victory.
I think they're a team that does a little bit better in blue side. They do like their focus has always been playing what the meta really allows. When I say that, I'm speaking specifically towards Kuro, Jinjiao, XinMo.
Yeah.
Those are pretty standard. It's this man here that you can never predict. That guy. ADD, I love you.
The only person in the world at the moment who has played Mundo in the regular split.
Blind pick.
Blind pick.
Let me sit down with that grenade. Like,
Two
just throw that
different
in
series.
there, close the door, and just wait. like you just have to see, like, what does that do, right? So, like, that's really fun to be able to see that being a possibility and then picking up wins around that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what you see from ADD in this game, and you've seen through the library of games throughout the season, has been the fact that he's been a great team fighter. In fact, in this moment, even though they've lost, his Cannon Ultimates, his engage on that point, is what you see from veteran-type players like him. But he can't fall behind in lane, and it's always been the storyline here. But you're going up against 369, one of the best top laners in the league pretty handily.
One of the best cannons, ironically, as
A
well.
laning phase player. And that's something that we always have to talk about. If we talk about a player being so consistent in the top lane, a lot of times it's because they're able to lend a hand to the game plan across the map.
Yeah.
But for 369, it's because he's willing to be able to put that much trust in himself. Get that Renekton pick whenever possible. Call for attention from, XX, because that's where the jungle pressure ends up going towards. And he flourishes. That's something, let me tell you, that's something ADD is allergic to.
Yeah.
He does not want that to be the case in the early laning phase. And so going to game 2, I think Sion is something that he'll probably go back to. I think Sion makes a lot of sense here if he's on weak side. Or the Kennen. I mean, the Kennen is still fine. It's just more so how he's playing it.
I mean, that was his first Kennen game in the split, remember? So for ADD, let's run this down a little for a quick merit for you. Gangplank, Ryze, Sejuani, Mundo, Aatrox, and Kled. He has picked champions that can play around mid-game spikes and also can end up winning lanes. To put it bluntly... Can, yes. I use can because you said he's allergic. At this point, I want to see him challenge 369 in the lane. I want to see how far ADD can push this. Running into game 2 where Top Esports have now swapped to the blue side.
Really smart from Top Esports to be getting the ban on Olaf and Karma. It's been a pretty good go-to from BLG simply because Kuro loves running that, Karma whenever possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just powerful regardless of the patch not coming through. 9.11 is still being played pretty heavily in the LPL.
Surprised to see this time, or rather not so, from Top Esports. The first pick is just going to be that Sylas again, remember. 9.11, we have to keep reminding you. And that means for BLG, with Ryze gone, we're going to see different rotation on the blue side, red side.
The fact that both the Sejuani and Aurelia have been banned out too on the side of BLG really nails down that, 2v2 strength from Top Esports. And now, here's the assumption I'm going to be making. Of course, Sylas is going to be going to the mid lane, which means that XX would love to be able to pick up the jungler that has a pretty good matchup. You don't want to be going into game 2 with Sylas in weak jungle matchup. Then you're going to be at least having BLG have some command in the area, which is why I think the Rek'Sai is a bit protected. Rek'Sai works well into Elise. Rek'Sai works well into the Jarvan. And the only issue that it really ran into pretty consistently was the Olaf. Banned out, of course.
Going to be the job pick up here for XX. So despite the fact, still confident in this matchup, this is one of his most played champions. Wouldn't be too surprised seeing this one getting locked in. 369 just returns to actually ADD's favorite champ.
Yeah, I was expecting BLG to be able to pick that one up for themselves, but seems like ADD is going to get a good heads up of what he wants to pick up here. I'm not going to love the Rumble pick. I would love the Lux pick, actually. I think you should be picking up your support in this area and give yourself some time going into second phase.
Flexing across the Poppy now. If anyone doesn't know, ADD's played amazing Poppy, but we're not going to see it just yet. Instead, for the debut in this series, it's Yuumi.
Probably the best 2v2 in the bottom lane. Getting to see Sivir and Yuumi because, of course, if you were able to get the first poke off, I would love to see it being Comet Yuumi as well.
Yep.
Then it's fairly guaranteed that you can be able to get the Q from Sivir to dent land. So there's a lot of pressure, shove, BLG being able to pick that one up for themselves. But what I think they need now is a real tank, a frontliner for their team. Because if you have Sivir, Yuumi, and Rek'Sai, man, you don't have a frontliner.
Yeah, that's true.
You really lack that, and that's something that consistently XinMo has been able to provide for his team. So would love to see what ADD can do. Poppy was hovered by Kuro. I think it's a great hint. For me, I love his Poppy, and I think Poppy can really lend a hand.
ADD's Poppy was insane in spring, ending with a 13 KDA after 5 games and a 100% win rate. Keep those stats in mind because it hasn't been banned away. It's been the mid bans in the Rumble, in the Nico, now still available.
Feels like a bit of a trap, though. If you go towards the Poppy, remember you're dealing with the GP at hand.
Yeah.
So really you want to at least have some range in the lane. And if you go towards the Scion or the Poppy, then expect Rek'Sai to go top lane for at least a dive or to help him out. The Vladimir being locked in is still a question mark for me. Remember, Knight's the one who picked up Vladimir mid lane last time round.
Yeah.
So it could still be a Vladimir mid, but you heavily expect it to be a top lane.
Yeah, especially going into the GP matchup. He hates range. He hates the barrels going down before he can smack someone with them. But to be said in the bottom lane, we're still waiting on what the matchup's going to be. You got a Sona. Taric is available, and so is Kench.
There we go. Able to lock it in. And remember, that's the major worry for both of these guys is the poke, push, and the dive potential within that. And BLG has a lot of that.
Yeah.
And even just make it harder for top esports. Punish them heavily to go with Sona and Taric and get that Taliyah in there. I think Kuro is the best Taliyah in the LPL. So if you give it for yourself, suddenly Rek'Sai, Taliyah, the poke that Sivir and Yuumi is able to provide within the lane. Right now, LokeN and Ben are riding on that tightrope.
And also remember that the Taliyah seismic shove can pull you out of that cosmic radiance before it comes down. Small window, but I love again that Kuro returns to this pick where he is the only one playing this mid in the LPL right now.
I'm not too concerned with the fact that you're pulling him at him. I'm more concerned with the fact that they're just going to kill you before it even gets there.
That's a better point.
The channel time for that is always going to be a concern, and the burst that you have with the electrocute on Taliyah alongside the Rek'Sai is the major point of focus. It really is going to be a race to the bottom side of the map, which is why XX and Knight's role here is incredibly crucial. They need to be able to hold up firm in the mid lane, teleport, or rotation if you want to move at the right times. You need to be there for your bot side when it does hit the fan.
Yeah, if we're talking about rotations, you know that Taliyah, a lot of early shove, but even more so, the ability to roam, get that Weaver's wall up at level 6, and use the rock surfing to get down there faster. One of the best roamers in the game. That's why Kuro loves to pick this up mid.
Yeah, I just love seeing Taliyah come back into the meta. I mean, at times we'll see her as a jungler. A lot of it just be able to get the early ganks through. Red buff on her just so crucial, can set up towards, the little bit of a slow can set up towards the W that she has to get the pick potential off.
Yep.
But as a mid laner, a lot of it comes down to, having an eye on the lane. Seeing what's happening if she can get it good. All in, of course, just being able to get a flick on top of her minefield. If she can get that, then excellent. Has a lot more control within the lane. If she's rolling with her jungler, obviously, then she has a lot of time to move. So that's the kind of key points that you want to be able to see from BLG.
You want to see that Kuro has more control. So in this game, it's a personal service here. Well, XX is like, well, we've got a problem. We've got a delay. 369's Mike. He's not facing the right way. I guess not. Well, we're about to get into game number 2. I'm not just going to ignore that.
Alright, Jinjiao.
Jinjiao getting his own fans in the crowd here today.
That's what I love about, the fans for Bilibili. No matter who's on that team, there's always a great, push for the squad. A lot of great, memes that come through.
The cutouts are always massive.
Always. It didn't even matter that Amazing J left. There was still a lot of personality left on the team.
Yep. He's going to dress up in cosplay next. Another question for another time, maybe. As we're about to get into this game, just another reminder to you that for top esports, they've only taken 1 loss this season, and it was against Invictus Gaming. So coming into game 2, you're saying, well, after what that performance was, after what we're looking at here, this is looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, and for me, what they proved to me was that they even started that series strong. For me, a lot of the questions that came into that one was if Top Esports could do it, even with what seemed like an injured, a little bit more of a battered Invictus Gaming. Invictus Gaming were still able to triumph, but a lot of the strengths of the team still came through, and they have so much potential. That's the thing about Top Esports. Knight, XX, and 369 are all players that you are confident still haven't seen the peak of their career. So we're getting to that point. You know, it's time. You're in week 5. You're moving towards Rift Rivals. You get that international experience. The road is pretty damn clear for the team.
You're set up to pop off Gangplank, Sylas. You got a Sona Taric in the bottom lane. Top Esports once again run into Summoner's Rift with confidence, with precision. Looking to shut down BLG before they can even get started in this series. Yeah, normally, of course, blue side starts the chance. I don't know what BLG are thinking. We have priority in this arena, much like the top lane here as XX looking to start towards the red buff. I'll steal this one away. Level 1, so interesting. We finally get to see some in action.
Could simply be just a cheeky ward. I want to see what we're getting here from XX because he's largely alone. Maybe they go for a late invade. You can see where GP is lying here too. Just going to go back towards his blue buff. So they have an idea where Rek'Sai is starting. I think they even have a ward. I know we don't have anyone there. Thankfully, we finally see it. So yes, early ward on the red buff so they'd be able to see it. 369 may be able to stay in the tri-bush as well, just so he can get an easy poke on towards ADD.
Just waiting for him.
Take a look at it. In. Get burnt.
Here we go. Q's coming in. Hits him once. Doesn't even wait for ADD to get that trial by
fire.
back
here. Come back here.
It's actually a favorable trait for the Vladimir. Drops a ward. He's going to get the Crimson Rush. And let me just say, 369, that is regret.
So 369 should have literally waited until he got into the tri-bush so he can get his auto attack.
And he gets the movement speed as well.
But he just needed to be able to get the auto attack and Q, and he would have been happy. There's a lot underneath that passive. The burn damage is pretty nice, level 1, 2 for 369, but it didn't come through. A nice ward, too, to be able to catch XX finally getting to his buff. So that's good knowledge from BLG that he went buff to buff. Now you can start questioning if he's going to be going to his Krugs, if he stays towards the bottom side of the map. If that's the case, then Rek'Sai has an opportunity to go into a deep invade on blue. But take a look at this.
It's finally coming back. That Grasp of the Undying paying off dividends here against ADD. Has another Crimson Rush to heal himself back up, but we'll have to use this one on a minion, so not too well anymore.
Yeah, going buff to buff always just leaves so much experience on the field. Take a look at this.
That's an early flash burn by Knight. Good seismic shove from Kuro. Meteor makes his presence known in the mid lane. Now hovers towards the bottom lane where Scuttle's coming up in 20 seconds.
Didn't even need much of a setup, which is the most surprising thing about that. You'd expect it to be a flash on the Rek'Sai to be able to get him knocked up. Great setup there, but of course, was dead on. Had to force Knight's flash, so you're right. Now it makes it easier for Meteor to come for a return gank.
Remember, that's Halo Blade's Rek'Sai as well, so in the early portions of this gank, you get destroyed just like that. Now no flash in the mid lane. Expect that return gank to come through with the Rek'Sai still hovering around the bottom lane.
But to my earlier point, the experience advantage is certainly there for BLG. The fact that Rek'Sai got a full clear top side on Krugs, went towards his blue side after that whole gank came through, while XX went buff to buff and wasn't able to get too much across, of course, because he's just trying to focus on himself. So I'm pretty happy with what BLG is able to accomplish in the first 3 minutes.
No vision to spot him out towards the bottom side for BLG, still in control. Meteor level 4, hovering towards the bottom lane. Through the tri-bush has not been spotted. LokeN and Ben both have summoners.
Yeah, maybe trying to wait until the Q comes through from Yuumi, but even then it seems like a stretch. So they're just going to get a full shove in. That's what makes it very difficult in dealing with a Sona and Taric lane. There's a lot of circumstances that come in tow with that. The Klepto there from Sona, you should always go Klepto because you can get the potions in tow.
Yep.
So you get the potions from Klepto, you get the double heal from both LokeN and Ben in the situation. And remember, you don't even rank up your movement speed, your E on Sona until you're like level 5. So that you just get a lot more heal and damage underneath you. So it's just very, very difficult to deal with any bit of poke. And that's not even mentioning the Guardians there from Taric as well. So much damage mitigation in there.
Sorry, we're not going to see the area like we did in the SKT Griffin series. Jinjiao, however, walking into the bottom lane. Trying to poke out LokeN and Ben, but not enough. The sustain's still going to be there while we focus back towards the top side where the 2v2 begins.
Oh, they don't know that XX is here.
369 has the barrel. ADD goes low. Crimson Rush is there now for the 2v1. Meteor trying to balance it, but he can't. He's been caught out with his pants down, and 369 pulls them back up.
Great counter gank there. Just think of it. He was slowly pushing it in, recognize that if nothing happens, if XX is sitting in that bush and if Rek'Sai goes towards, let's say, mid lane or farms up his own camps or something, then best case scenario, he protects the push, maybe looks for a dive and forces ADD off lane, tower because he was pretty damn low to start all of that off. So that was a pretty big risk for Meteor to look for that one when ADD was no business really being a part of a potential counter gank situation.
Think about how hard it is to track. No.
Okay.
I was about to say 369 has gone away. So ADD teleporting to a ward this time. Not going to pay for it.
Great job. Okay. Once again, XX coming out of an MVP performance in game 1 already comes into this game and has a massive impact on the top side of the map. 369 and XX already having another stellar performance in the game.
That's right, and the first kill this time went to 369, so even more so than what we saw in the first game. Elevated is the Gangplank nice and early. Picks himself up Ruby Health Crystal, Sapphire Crystal there as well. And that's a nice start. Bit of extra stats on the GP.
Wonder if LokeN ends up expanding teleport to come back into the lane, because that's always the concern whenever you're dealing with Sona and Yuumi. You get pushed consistently in the laning phase, you get poked so consistently as well. A lot of the problems that you end up seeing is just that my mind is a little bit in the gutter. Did he just use teleport?
Sona did not, but
Jinjiao
did.
Jinjiao, within the lane, had a teleport expended. We'll get back to that point. Maybe it was just a visual bug. But, of course, my whole point was that he was shoving so consistently within the lane. He'll come back, of course, and always put you in a bad back situation.
We're going to go for the 1v2 once again. Meteor's caught out once more, burns the flash down for the re-engage. Yuumi on top of him, but Meteor has to burn himself away, but the Void Rush picked up first before even the Rek'Sai can do it. Knight takes the blast cone away, but Jinjiao jumps in, flashes over, survives somehow. For how long as the Dazzle comes through to get the 1-for-1? Weaver's wall in, we go for the full-on team fight engage. It's the LPL, baby! As Knight jumps on top of Meteor, they get the slow, Cannon Barrage comes down, 2 for 2, and blood across Summoner's Rift.
That was slick from Jinjiao.
Hell yeah.
Flashed on the right side of Jarvan to be able to get the back end of the boomerang blade. You love to be able to see that happen, but just the committal from both sides of the field, it's pretty intense. I want to be able to see how it all started off, because my mind was on towards Jinjiao and his Summoner Spell situation. But Top Esports wanted that fight.
Meteor getting caught out in the 1v2 is such a beneficial trade considering how this started for BLG.
Yeah, the teleport comes through, so Meteor finally gets a whiff that Knight's going to be there in the area. Meteor gets caught up on, so it really came down on two teams really going for it, because Top Esports rightfully believed they had the right movement to be able to take the fight. It's just the fact that Sona and Taric were put in a position where, you know, they had to really force a fight when they weren't able to really consistently help out Knight in this call. So at least they trade, for me, when both Sona and Taric were not in position to do so.
Meteor just took so long to die as well. Part of the perks of watching the Yuumi attach onto the Rek'Sai, who picks up his passive along the way. But in that trade, kill to the mid, kill to the bottom lane of BLG, and Jinjiao already had that Executioner's calling, picked up a couple of long swords, right back in lane with an advantage, and they should be able to contest this or at least try and push him off, but XX is already whacking away at the steal of blue buff.
All right, just trading on both sides. I love the fact that Kuro is going to be able to get a blue for himself at this call. It's going to make it even harder for Knight. He ultimately is going to be the one that gets denied in all of this. And so we'll have to see XX be able to take as much as can. If he gets Infernal Dragon, that's just a win for them.
That's right.
But my major concern is ultimately going to be, you know, Kuro has a fantastic lane here, has flash as well, so just in case XX goes mid, he has the defensive ability on that one. Rek'Sai is going to be able to push the Sylas in this situation, and they can look for a bottom lane fight, so that's my concern.
Speak of Devil, final chapter comes through, and Ben has been left alone while LokeN goes and helps the Dragon, but Jinjiao just doesn't have the damage right now. XX is nearby, and Top Esports, they know lots down in the bottom side, but into the mid, they've caught Knight out, and XX is trying to come in on top of Meteor. We happen again. Cataclysm down. Void Rush is there. Meteor trades jungle for jungle, but Knight is the one who picks up his second kill.
You gotta love that from XX, because at the end of the day, he just stopped that mid lane push from even happening. Weird situation to be able to see. Of course, we didn't get to see the context of it. It was literally just them trying to be able to catch Knight, and he was able to get out of the flick from Taliyah. But being able to then turn it on Rek'Sai, where we just needed to be able to see them, even if they don't get the kill, end up trying to push Taliyah and the Sona and Taric out of the lane. Not able to do that gives a lot of time now for Top Esports.
Yep. They're going to enjoy the Sylas picking up his second kill as well. Now has a Weaver's wall, so he can start matching Kuro if he wants to make the roams down, or match some of the invades that have been coming through from BLG. At this point, top have the gold lead and the Infernal with a double in the possible realm of what's going to be coming next.
Of course, Execution is calling is the pickup from Jinjiao. Really early on too, so just because of all of the healing that we were referring to really early on, that the difficulty of being able to push them out of the lane is the fact that they're able to just consistently get the targets proc and all of that. Sona and Taric be able to top each other up. But if you're able to keep them down whenever possible, how much poke and how much trading that's happening within the lane makes it easier of a target. It's just kind of unfortunate to see Meteor really fall so frequently this game in rotation. So sad points for the team, but you're still seeing a struggle here from both Sona and Taric.
At least the Rek'Sai has Warriors and is somewhat keeping up with XX at this point, who, to be fair, has died a couple of times himself in those 1-for-1 bloody engages. He's trying to get back on the map with the CS, trying to clear out the jungle and move towards what seems to be another 2v2 mid brewing.
Ooh, this is going to be a good call here from
Cannon Barrage. ADD must have used the Sanguine Pool a little bit before. Doesn't have the Hema Plague. Wonder where that went because the parlay comes out. Sanguine Pool, hit him once, hit him twice. Hema Plague finally there. But ADD only just surviving thanks to good ult timing.
All right, there we go. Really close. But here's another call here.
XX makes his way to the bottom side. Remember, there's a Weaver's Wall for both mid laners, but they're not going to get there in time. Instead, XinMo surviving for just long enough, gets a Prowling Projectile and misses it through the goalpost. Top Esports get another one.
You can see Taliyah in the area, but just a quick call out from Top Esports to get the kills. So not a lot of vision there to be able to catch XX in movement, but he's getting a lot of great work done here to be able to get these kills across.
Things looking really good for Top Esports at the moment. Bottom side controlled, apart from that Rift Herald, but a lot of vision there early. And Knight, you could see, he was first there to the play. So at the moment, able to match Kuro, which was my biggest concern coming into this game.
Of course. I think a lot of the times, us being able to really judge XX in Knight, we haven't been able to see the full context of it, the wave management. Like, let's say when we saw that first time when Meteor and Kuro were hunting for Knight, a play was happening at the same time on the bottom side, so we didn't get to see how it all started. We just know that Knight was able to dodge out the flick and buy for enough time for XX to join in. So that coordination is really necessary, and it's coming in clutch for Top.
It's something we talk about with teams like FPX, but on a different note and a different style. But good to see here from Top Esports as they start up the Rift Herald, they make the rotation. There's a Rift Herald that is going to be challenged here. They flash on in, Cosmic Radiance down. Rift Herald eventually gets stolen away, but the kill comes through first. LokeN only just surviving, but not for very much longer. They do the Monster Mash with LokeN and lock him down. This for BLG is what they needed.
They blew up XX immediately. Like, off the map. That was hilarious to watch, and they're already moving towards 369.
Getting the Rift Herald, getting 369. BLG are taking everything from Top Esports. LokeN to silence them. 369 is just walking away, but he asked for parlay until the book comes out. That's a flash away from 369. He survives, but this turret will not.
Yeah, 369 holding on to his flash at the final moment, man. It always gets me sweating. Sweating bullets. I would never do that. I don't trust myself.
He's a skilled individual, Raz, who he may have Trinity Force, but this top lane Vladimir is going to be able to go back and get the Proto Belt to match, the turret, gold to all four people here. Thank you kindly. BLG break this game back in.
So much happened in such a short amount of time. Just take a look at, of course, Jarvan in this instance, because he gets blown up immediately. Cosmic Radiance coming through, but just take a look at how much damage comes through the light. Literally 100 to 0 him.
Yeah.
So, of course, always comes down to that whole idea of that one pick potential as a target. As you take a look at the
Let's go live, because 369 with a Cannon Barrage, we've just found ourselves into a 1v1. He wants to flex on ADD. He says, you know you play Gangplank, I play it so much better. Let's go, shoot him. Sanguine Pool comes down the barrels as well. 369 is not giving up. Orange saves the day, but wow. Again, a close call for the top laner.
Here comes another fight, though. Always looking for an opportunity.
Definitely screams LPL. Kuro wants to find Knight. He's slowed down, but the stones can't reach him in time. BLG disengaged from the Dragon, and they're going to play this for another day.
A lot of these guys don't know what position's happening in the top lane. But if you are BLG in this situation, the way you're coming into the Dragon fight, it's going to be on Top Esports to reclaim position.
XX looking for a steal here over the Dragon. Knight steals away the ultimate from Rek'Sai, but the Dragon secured, and XX again just gets blown up. Teleport coming in over the side. It's 369, but he doesn't have a Cannon Barrage, so he wants to join with the barrels, but he's on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift Raz. They get a great crescendo. LokeN may have just saved his life. I say that, but Meteor follows him anyway. This is just going from bad to worse for top.
Always comes down to the risks. They think that they're able to make a play happen. Of course, obviously, when the teleport comes through, they end up catching him, and there's no wave to save him in the teleport. So, sad to see that one happening, and it seems like BLG are just coming right back at it.
You'll get another turret in the bottom lane where Top Esports have not broken their first turret of the game here. So for Jinjiao and XinMo, a bit of extra gold in their back pockets where they were already so far ahead in this lane.
You're going to see how quickly this game just turns on its head.
Yeah.
At one moment, we sing the praises of Top Esports because they're able to protect the LokeN and LokeN and Ben lane pretty easily. And Knight and XX are playing very consistently. And then the Rift Herald play happens, and then the Dragon play happens. Side by side, you lose out in these fights, and that's what it really matters here, because Cosmic Radiance just doesn't exist in this situation.
Yep.
Another just 100-0 comes through. XX is not able to survive before the fight even begins. And this one was just, sad to see.
Oh, he landed the Prey Seeker. That'll do it for Meteor. Another point that if we can actually finally have a break in this game, which I'm not too sure about.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Just quickly say that for 369, 2 failed solo kills in the top lane, 2 cannon barrages that were used for his purpose, rather than some of these fights which could have made bigger impacts. So for top, GP at the moment, it's for himself, and BLG reaping the benefits of that big ult being down.
Of course, through all of that, we always forget about the fact that with how many plays end up going through, turret plating was in fact in order.
By a lot for BLG.
Huge. Well spread too from BLG. A lot of the times you would love to see it all focused on one side, but with how many times they were forced to group up for these plays and team fights, of course reaping the benefits as a team.
Yep. It's not going to count the first hour bonus as well. What?
Goodbye.
Kuro, let's go. All right, Weavers will send Jinjiao and XinMo away because Meteor's going to play the game. I have nothing to say about that. That is Taliyah damage with a 303. Luden's Echo. Kuro, mighty fine.
XX is not playing the game.
He's not playing the game.
XX literally is right now playing a gray screen simulator.
That's all he gets. He spends the majority of time in death mode. This is rough. BLG get the pick. Meteor, unspotted.
Here we go. Got to make play after play. That's how you play this one. So I think we'll have a nice reprieve here. And you get to moments where, I remember this is a, oh thank God, I thought he was going up for a gank. So you get moments where it's like, I feel like XX is in the right position, looking for plays, but obviously doesn't have the right vision to be able to see the pick potential coming through. And at times around the major objectives, which is really a thorn in Top Sports' side, they're not really able to be in position to just get on top of Kuro. They need to be using the Cosmic Radiance, preemptively at this point. Because obviously there's enough damage on BLG's side as long as the flick lands to nail down a key member of Top Esports before the fight even begins.
And this is going to happen for a while because if we're talking just XX into Kuro, how the, I guess 1v1 quote-unquote happens, XX is going for the GA. Not enough MR there to negate Kuro.
Okay.
And he's only getting stronger. 369 in the same boat as he's been called out. Catbook again. Meteor picks up the kill this time, and BLG are not stopping. Kuro is starting to be the center of these plays.
Take a look at where XX is, because he wants to go for a responding play, but ADD already moving away from it. There's not a lot of responses now Top Esports can do. They're now put in such an impossible situation.
Trying to trade up turret or at least get their first one here.
Nice trade.
But the inner turret in the top lane, with the next wave coming in, this should be dropping mids at a stable position because BLG have a Sivir, and you can't get past that.
You're able to get this one,
Wow.
and now all of your focus goes towards the inner mid lane tower, which is already low to begin with how BLG's been playing this one out. So Top Esports needs to be ready for this. Dragon's going to be the one that's most contested, and it's going to be a game about pushing for mid, positioning for Dragon. I think a lot of the cards right now are on BLG's table because they can focus on mid lane, but still be able to protect for a possible Dragon situation. So let's see what we end up getting for Top Esports.
Double TP here. Knights to negate the shove, but Jinjiao so that he can get that and set up for this Dragon in 25 seconds, as you were mentioning. There is vision control by Top Esports. That's why they want to play around the pick potential of ADD.
Remember, it's a triple Infernal in this game. It's going to turn into a double of BLG, for either team to get it. So it's just legitimately the most valuable thing right now on the map.
And with the way the game's going, BLG seem to have all elements of control under their wing. Meteor walking into the rush with XinMo. The Top Esports are here first, waiting for that impounding fight.
This is what we're talking about. Get the shove in mid. Always focus on the outer mid lane turret with how low it is. Top Esports are forced to send 2 people to be able to hold that wave. And if 2 people are holding that mid lane wave, then of course you're not going to be able to hold vision around Dragon. Yeah. So we'll have to see if Top Esports can do anything.
They have to start getting creative. What a predict from Knight! He jumps on top of Kuro, he flashes with a Hemo play, but Knight starts the play and ends it simultaneously. XX go golden in the middle of the Ignite as we see the fight on the other side. Cosmic Radiance hasn't been used just yet. They get the crescendo down. It finally comes through as the Catbook again sends out the final jab to Jinjiao. Locked on too as well. Top Esports make the comeback a reality. XinMo dies too, and that was Knight at his peak.
He is ungodly. That is literally galaxy brain. If we're talking about what seemed like a hard, impossible situation to be able to deal with BLG's mid lane push, he was like, okay, I know one person's going to be making that rotation. Jinjiao ends up moving, gets caught without vision. They didn't see him.
That was blind.
So I want to see that on replay. I want to get the full view of that. Because those are the type of plays you see time and time again. You're forced to appreciate.
Off one pick, top and back in. It was
so
Kuro.
They see him moving into the bush. And that's all you really need. Actually, that was good enough vision. The problem wasn't so much about it being in Fog of War. It was just the fact that they had sight of the play. That they can get immediate kill on towards Taliyah before the fight even begins. So they now can pick up an Infernal Dragon, can re-push through mid. They get literally the world off of this.
Even though there was vision there, that was still sick. 5-1 on the Sylas. 2 items. You know that Lich Bane's coming third. Knight is now fed. He was already ahead in CS over Kuro, and suddenly what this Taliyah was doing in the earlier portion of the game to XX doesn't matter anymore. Because you have a Sylas who is just getting towards that level 16 point and is now such a big threat to BLG.
Of course, working towards his Lich Bane at this point. And right now, with double Infernal, Top Esports can take control of the top side. So pretty happy right now with what Top's got for themselves.
Yep.
And what I love even more so is the fact that 369, who've been kind of talking about being able to pick up a lot of the trades up against ADD, always so close to being able to pick up a solo kill there. But he's just doing well for himself. He's gone for a rather cheap build as well. If you remember the builds of old, the Youmu's Ghost Blade, this state, his ultimate's going to be doing quite a bit of damage in team fights, or at least being able to rip up the backside. So that's something I want to be able to see. There's another one.
He's got an anti-Vladimir sword as well, Raz. So remember, there's grievous wounds starting to be applied. ADD's not going to heal too much here, but does enough with the Hema play as XX comes down to shadow him. ADD getting to the point himself, closer towards that second item.
Yeah, of course, Crimson Rush would have been able to make it, so ADD would have won that fight.
Yeah.
So just a smart call to be able to disengage. It's a lot of damage. You're right about, of course, the be able to just deal with the healing that Vladimir had.
Yep.
GP would have been doing well if he had, of course, enough HP underneath him. Not going to be the case just yet. Maybe he gets a Sterix gauge later on in the game.
Okay. Banshee's Valnum picked up for ADD on that note as well, so if that trade came through when that item was there, it could have been a very different story. But second item really across the board now. The one who's accelerated is Knight at this point, but Kuro, Morellonomicon there while they start sieging up the mid lane turret, and Top Esports, again, big pick off here from Bev, but they jump in, Cosmic Radiance down, they lock down with the Wombo and the Cataclysm, and this time the final chance to make it the lockdown, but damage negated, preemptive ult as you wanted to see, Raz, and Top Esports have timed it perfectly.
Now they can push up the next wave. Take a look at how low ADD is here. He either picks up bot lane wave or has to back entirely. Makes it so Top Esports can just focus on this inner mid lane tower.
And as we're talking about health, Top Esports are full health again because LokeN's at that point where he's just healing so much. Alongside, flashes for the crescendo, and Kuro starting to regret his decision there. XinMo gets out in time, but this turret and the next look to be falling.
All right. I think they're doing a smart thing, just finding their back times here. But man, Top Esports are getting some movement across here.
Even when they were down so far, ADD starting to feel the pain in the bottom side as well. So this for BLG has suddenly turned so harsh just when they were finding their window into this second game.
Yeah, crucial moments around Dragon Rift Herald really pushed it in Top Esports' favor. But take a look at this. Of course, power into immediate, preemptive, ultimate from Taric, able to find that engage. Of course, even further, I know this is going to be a pretty long replay if we talk about the holistic view, thankfully.
We don't get it.
I can talk about it then.
Okay.
Was just the fact that Vladimir is no longer going to be a part of the play. He either needs to base or he just needs to invest in the fact that he's not going to be a part of a fight, a future fight. So it's up to Sivir in that case to be able to make the decision, take the risk on pushing through mid and maybe defending the inner turret, or just back away and concede. It's much smarter to back away and concede, but obviously at this stage, BLG needs to start taking some risks.
Jinjiao gets caught. This is part of the problem in the fight so far is, yes, 2-item Sivir, but so much to spell shield here on the side of Top Esports. So relying on Jinjiao a lot, but it's really up to BLG to be part of that front line so that he can start hammering away.
Yeah, double Lich Bane as well. We have a pretty good spot here for top speeds, top sports. I think at this stage, it's going to be a game about dragons. I know the next dragons is Cloud, but if you can stack it for yourself, top esports, then you're going to be in a really good spot for Elder.
But as we talk about, Dragon's a good bait for the Baron, which top esports are walking up to.
Here we go, though. They're going to start on immediately.
This is blind as well. So there's a thought that BLG are going, hang on a minute, top, where are they? Baron's being started, and BLG haven't made the move yet.
All right, they're able to see a little bit with that blue trinket now. They have to just get moving.
On the hunt, but the hunt for Walker's Baron's almost dead. They jump in, the steal doesn't come through. Meteor's by himself, he void rushes to waste a bit of time into the stopwatch, but now for BLG, they come in for the re-engage, but not before Meteor drops. 4 versus 5,
Ooh.
Night flashes over, Protobelt into the Absconder, duck into the Cataclysm, skadunk down. Top esports land on top of them, they dazzle and snazzle them as well. A double kill going to the mid lane, Knight, and top again. Can't be bloody stopped. ADD walks down, but he gets parlayed for the finish. A full-blown ace, clean as you will for top.
36 seconds on Kuro and the rest of the squad. Wonder how far they're going to be going, but a huge team fight win from top esports. Just got to love the go-to play from XX to just nail them in the Cataclysm.
5 seconds till the Rek'Sai. Top are walking up the mid lane. And with the Baron buff, you're right, Raz. Going to be hard to stop this momentum.
Smarter for them to move towards the bot lane, though. They already have movement in towards the bot lane inner tower. All right, he's going to be able to pick that up himself, so going to take it safe here. At this point, top esports feel unstoppable. You got to love it. The game, at some point, the mid-game was going back and forth, but there was no vision in the side of BLG. BLG had to utilize that one blue trinket to see the fact that it was already at 6k HP, and they made that move, and it was actually really close. They very much could have gotten it, but this nailed it for top esports.
They just kept going forward. This is what I love about top esports. Confidence out of Knight, out of XX. They weren't stopping until they got on top of that back line.
Yeah, this has been a testament to, gotta love that one, to the team's ability to be very disciplined around the vision that they do have. I mean, whenever they have it, of course, you were talking about the split between the Dragon that was available, the Baron that's up. They have their vision towards Baron. They've been playing in that side of the map pretty consistently, so they know the ward's just not there. That they just move for it. They actually kill it really quickly with the double Lich Bane that they have for themselves, so this game's looking real good for top.
Majai Soul still on Knight in the mid lane, by the way. 10 stacks and counting. You were pointing out the want of Steric's Gauge for 369. Well, he picked that up in the last fight. BLG, this is what they can do. Find a pick onto Knight, who has the ultimate of Sivir on the hunt. He jumps on a Meteor with the Void Rush here. He locks him down mid-air. Knight's taken one. He's taken two. He's going for the third. They lock him down, but as he goes golden, get ready because the Kingslayer's going to heal him up. Can't use it in time. But meanwhile, top are just ending the game off that insane play.
Desperation from BLG, and they're getting rocked. They're going to end the game.
Radiance from the skies, from the heavens. This team looks blessed by someone above. They pick up 1 kill onto ADD, and this game is coming to the end. Our rivals representatives, our 4th seed of China, are doing this to a potential playoff team. Next stop, Korea.
That was damn good. From Knight in particular. You take a step back, you're on YouTube, rewind. If you're on Twitch, clip that. You need to be able to look at that because, of course, man, I feel bad for the Rek'Sai there. Before he's able to knock him out, he gets bursted to like 50% HP.
Mid-air as well when he thought, oh, I can get him. Mid-air.
I love Knight. And you gotta love him being able to go to his first international. That kind of stuff is where, you know, legends start from. We talk about his individual skill, of course, and you nail it consistently whenever you see the plays throughout the season. Throughout, you know, when he was on Suning as well. But then people just want to be able to see if that kind of confidence, if that kind of play ever nails an international event so he can be a world-class player. And I mean, we're seeing the start of that. Hopefully he can continue that going forward.
Consistency here in Game 1 was the answer. In Game 2, it was more about the comeback and how this mid-jungle duo started to shape up as we got into the mid-game. And even this player on your screen here, his return into the game on the Gangplank.
Yeah, I think he was the shining star. If we're just talking about pure consistency, right? If we're talking about from the start of the game to the end. I think GP, I think Sylas, I think our solo laners for top esports had a great game. The only problem I ever had was with, XX a few times. Maybe when it comes down to strategy and how you are going to be able to deal with these larger fights, he was just getting blown up by the Taliyah.
Yeah.
And what was the solution when you went up to the next dragon? Infernal Dragon in tow, BLG incredibly confident surrounding that. Taliyah says, I got my push. Let's make the movement towards the dragon area, at least towards mid. Gets blown up by Knight.
Absolutely destroyed. This states so much. Our 4th seed doing this states so damn much, but more so against BLG, who had a better mid game, who had a more competitive game number 2, that top were able to find windows like this and actually just blow them wide open.
Yeah, it was a great game that really required creativity from top esports to come right back in, and I think that they were able to do that. Remember, on top of that, even if you have a deficit, if you have a Sona and Taric, you're going to be damn confident about grouping up on with your composition. And if you misplays that they had, I mean, at the end of the day, you can come back to that. It really is on BLG to be consistent, to be able to say, okay, we'll be able to get the knock up on Rek'Sai, pair it up with the flick, and we can continue that role. We can pull them into side lanes. We can pull them away from grouping up.
Yep.
That couldn't happen anymore. And I think BLG is going to be a little bit sad that there was a triple Infernal game, because now you're consistently needing to group up.
That's right.
Versus the squad. And so a little bit unfortunate for that one, but at the end of the day, top esports remained confident with their game plan. And whenever they had leniency to just be able to go out, skill expression, do your thing in the side lane, they did that.
Yeah, they absolutely did. We're coming back to the mid lane here now. I'm just telling you where we're going.
Okay.
It's Kuro, because that game was very much about him. The early game was very much about Kuro and Meteor as well. These weird jungle trades. Kuro left to kind of fix or rehabilitate.
He played really well.
He really did.
He played well. And that's the hardship about it, because I felt like BLG should have gotten a lot more of the plays that they were making, right?
Yes.
Through mid lane, Knight was the constant focus of it, and it's sad that we didn't get like a replay or like moments of higher focus on what was happening there, because that was the real core of how BLG were going to break open the game.
Yep.
And he was able to duck and dodge just like like he's a part of the Matrix, just be able to get away from these ganks. And of course, XX came as a major tool to be able to help him out. But he bought for a lot of time. Knight did a lot of greatness and towards the early game to be able to deal with that pressure. And then, of course, later on in the game when he was being able to pick up a lot resources himself, just make plays like that.
The strongest part of BLG, and that was the solo lane, that was going well. And then the other one, this series was not ADDs.
And this is a key focus here. For a lot of people that look at Knight, the big point about, his success, they cater to it, the fact that he gets a lot of resources, right? They talk about the resources that he gets and that he's able to thrive based off that. This was a game where he legitimately didn't get that resource.
Yeah.
That he was the target of constant pressure from the 2v2 that BLG picked up, and he was able to weather all of that. So a great example, once again, put it in the highlight reel, put it in the resume. That is now there forever, that you can hold that for yourself. So Knight's coming in as one of the best mid laners in the world, not able to show that opportunity right now. Him and Chovy are equally crying.
Yeah.
But they'll get that international glory soon.
That's right. And remember, it's a world split as well, so 3 spots available all into the group stage. Top esports, they are ripe for the taking. It's about the question of who goes. I know that's a longer discussion, guys. I want to talk about more the solo lanes of BLG, though. I do want to take a step back to ADD and your thoughts on this series as to expectations versus reality of the Korean top laner.
For ADD, that is
yes,
correct.
Please.
For ADD, I never know what to expect. So he's actually the hardest one for me to be able to talk about.
Well,
because every week I come in and I either talk about like the previous few weeks where he's had some inconsistencies, and he comes up and he literally get double MVPs, and he's a major reason why they end up winning either through laning phase or through team fights.
Yep.
Or you get performances like this where legitimately first 3 minutes of the game he just costs 2 early deaths, which are just really just brain flubs. That's what it is. It's just more so a veteran player coming into the situation and saying, well, he just knows, I know better.
Right.
So I'm confident that he's not going to have or replicate a performance like that, because we see in the same damn game moments of greatness on this cannon when he's able to come in multi-man flanks and being as patient as he was. That's something Curse tried to do, but wasn't able to get close to.
Keep bringing him up.
So that's, just to quickly answer your question, I don't know what the hell to expect for next week for the ADD.
Okay. I'm glad I got my question answered. Right, it's okay. We can pause it right there, because that's it was such a convincing win from top esports, and by the end, mechanically, this team is looking raring to go. However, another team we've got to check in with coming up right after this. Invictus Gaming and Suning are going to be challenging Summoner's Rift to see if IG are looking in form. Bring up that little third. Bring up that little lower third. Bring
You're
it up.
getting what you want.
There we go. I always get what I want. We're going to have a short break, then return with IG and Suning right after this.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the LPL Insights. This is Raz here. We're bringing you the best gameplay possible of the LPL players. Last week, Jackie11 and Baolan locked in Sona and Taric in Game 3 against EDG. Let's take a look what would happen when the world champs played that crazy combination down in the bot lane. As you can see, Jackie11 and Baolan are having a real tough time in lane, expectedly pushed, poked, and battered by Lux and Sivir. Taric and Sona heal, and Klepto potions were keeping them in by just a hair. Answering the call, Ning comes directly bot lane trying to lend a hand. Now here comes the gameplay. Wait! Turn right! Turn right! Alright, warning shots. Yeah, Jackie Love knows it's on him to right the wrongs. 11:30 on the dot, and check it out. Jackie was nailed by Lux's binding to draw out the rats. Hold out baits to entice the enemy. Feign disorder and crush him. Jackie too. Eyeboy and his ability to achieve strategic nirvana, lost all bodily control and expended summoners. After the kill, Jackie Love and Baolang get right back on track, cash out on their quest goal. They slay dragons, take towers, everything's going all right. Until Jackie Love goes shopping. Look at the map! She's right there! Let's get back to the game. In the final Baron fight, Sona and Taric show is right back on track. Taric casts Cosmic Radiance first to protect his teammates from danger, getting Invictus Gaming a better formation to keep the team fight rolling. Sona starts healing, an accurate crescendo helps Ning get Scout. Junu flashes in trying to kill Jackie Love, but with a great healing from Sona and Taric, it's all good. He doesn't have a single shot. Avert your eyes from the Shy in the back 1v9ing. Invictus Gaming finished the game off with that ace. With that win, Invictus Gaming broke their losing streak, and let's see whether the champs can replicate this type of performance to get back on track in the split.
这里是下来的塞拉斯想留人，因为这波没有，哎，等一下，闪现拉到了，
给机构大，护球漂亮，
这波
太完美了吧
carry 了
，Nico 配合猫咪的大完美控制。
直接给到隔墙那个 Q 命中，宁这边先扫一个 R 回身，但是伊拉克斯做一段位移，这个位置还可以，刀妹大招空掉，吸血鬼过墙之后发现对面3个人，赶紧交血池，而回身掠食者已经好了，宁这个位置躲过了熊熊这个位置躲过了摸鱼飞弹，回身一个大招炸回了刀妹，同时炸死了宁。一炮双响，
而且宝蓝应该也是要被 LokeN 黏住了。
我的队友死了，我就只能遭受苦难了。因为下路的防御塔没什么压力，钩索上来一闪踢盾上了，闪现做大漂亮，
没了。
这波应该是单杀了，单杀非常精彩。
超博这个指挥也是做的非常的果断，宁落后了，但是位置是被抓到。
有踢，来看一下正面，偷一个吸血鬼大招，宁的甩狙被护盾挡掉。LokeN 这个时候没有护盾，宁再进场，我们观察一下 LokeN 的位置 ，LokeN 的位置还可以，绕到了侧面，而且等下逆身不但跟进场，39进场之后自己血量非常的低 ，LokeN 还在输出 ，LokeN 在这个口子里，熊熊先倒 ，LokeN 这边还活着，但西维尔一个人没法解决那么多的残血吧
？LokeN 一个人还可以继续作战吗？护盾又挡了一个技能，但是这个人已经飞进来拿下了这个人头。
总算抱团了，25分钟总算抱团了。
但这一波的话，遭遇到船长跟左一的防守不好抱呀。
哎呦，这个筒子架得很好，
好舒服啊！船长直接给大了，你看你这边交不交技能？不交技能的话，你这边血量就被下。哎，左一又打猎炮这边要上了，强行给大，这就是京东的打法，他就在消耗你，然后找机会一击致命。没了，比赛结束了，这一波直接拿大龙。
你们俩不要瞎拖节奏。
我现在说对不起来得及吗？
肯定我死了，他哪里死了？咱们你是世界第一大爷。
加油啊！加油啊！
加油！没关系啊，别自闭啊，就活跃起来，兄弟们！要开他们吗？还是怎么样？
可以啊，
我没场，
可以开。
哎，开我了，开了。
我在路上，
可以打直播。
波比有踢。哎 ，AD 可以看吗？
慢点。上一啊 ！AD 死了，慢慢打。别，你上完大龙。nice！
我一丝血看一下中妹。
我去找。你们先打。
你们打。
打龙了。
然后我晕住他，打龙。
打 nice。能杀吗？
他走不了。
可以杀，杀
两个。
这个可以杀。
他没人复活。
走，
没场。
中路推完线走。
可以贴啊，我感觉就一个。
不贴。我们把节奏抓在自己手里。听话，宝宝。
听话了。
你们两个不要瞎拖节奏，现在还没赢呢。
别膨胀，
还没赢呢，还没打完呢。对，我们稳打，赢了这场局要开心。哎，这里就他们两个。
我们破个好吧？
慢点。
走了。
nice。
哎，看一下 AD。
哎，对。
飞谁了？
我要跑。
AD 有闪吗
？AD 没闪。
没闪。
动了。能走吗？
不好走。
nice， 稳住哦。
OK， nice 啊。
中路我想盲丢个。
别，位置不要做动，别这种激进，很激进的事。
哎，开杰斯了，应该往杰斯里靠。
月子，先把月子杀
后边。
保德莱文。就打前面。
晕住了。nice。
我能五伤吗？
能五伤，哎，一波，你去做，我来追，
没有五伤。
nice，
手势也慢，
加油吧，下场好打，
气棒棒的，
没事，下场好打，
完美。
感觉今天大家很放松啊，
没有，压力太大了，
状态不佳。
你不是说你今天手感不错？
我2分钟之前才知道我们是红色方，有没有跟我一样？
我也是，
我刚刚知道了。
哎呦，你们怎么都是这样的呀？
没关系，
你也是啊。
没关系，我 BP 已经先帮你们想好了，
我就不一样，
不用担心。
我一直以为我们是蓝色粉。
节约吧，怎么说？节约吧。
可以。
节约吧，第6了。
看辅助，踢了，蓝波踢了。
我不能扛了。
看，
给我上车。
等一下。
想死了，过来，往前走，我有虚弱，虚弱了。
杀。
多久
？2秒 Q，我 Q 好了，还可以吗？他要死 nice。
把我再扛，没事 ，OK， 完美。
啊，我是个工具人。
好好打完这把下班吧，兄弟们，早点下班，
加油。
下班。
早点下班。
他为啥一直搬蛇女？我们一把蛇女都没玩过，可能搬的是我的蛇女。
我现在说对不起来得及吗？
开吧，杀了。那个 Q 呢？
没事，
别进去吧，进去要小心，别进去。
我进了，看一下我。
我有玩，
也可以，
我有玩，可以来，我有玩。
他没闪，
我给招式的进攻。
我去上路带线了，
小心别死，去中嘛，哇，大招给错人了，真恐怖。
没有，就是我不想给你而已。不好意思，我给错了。
小心别死，哇，大招给错人了，真恐怖。
我现在说对不起来得及吗？
他们想开，
开不了。
你小心。
秒他吧，还能打吗？
我有多
1多9，
已经给了，打不了了。
他上死了。
没事。
推塔吧。
一波吧。
一波了。
中路兵线。
一波，我踢了一波。
踢中了，我踢中了。
我也。
哎，中路看。
一波，直接过。
哦，中路吧，那中路吧。
快点。
这么着急吗？
速，
快，回家吃饭了。
放松点啊，像打 rank 那样去完成啊，放松一点。
OK。
啊
，OK。准备抢龙，他们不敢打，他们要。
OK。
他们要小心。
打架还是打？
等我，他们不敢打，不用打。No fight，就等扫母，就等扫母。
OK。
扫母，你是世界第一打，
世界第一打，不要慌。
来，
走。Nice，扫母。中路小心，中路被开了。
我要靠，我死了。能赢，慢点。
别。
你打
死了。先走。
可以打，可以打，没打，没打。
别打。No。
可以杀。来，一波，可以一波。
刘死了，他哪里杀了？
没事，五杀无所谓的，野爹不能死，
是的，
世界第一打也不能死。
这把看我操作，兄弟，这把
可以，
输了就是我的锅。
我就喜欢你这种抢背锅人。
走。
对，看呀。瞎子，
杀死了。
对，慢点，太难。别走，慢点，先走。
对。AD 没进来，AD。慢点打，太难。追，给老子追！
我杀
干他！打我！
能杀他吗？
就玩。
Nice，
走位！给老子杀扫母！
杀！后面！干他！慢点！
这，别跑！
不杀他，不杀吗？
慢点！推中，要被秀了！来手！
不杀吗？
要被秀了！来手！
推中！看我位置，真的。
他们没闪。
你们推荐，看我！
慢点！对，
看我！来三子！一个！
来2，带完烟，nice，点赞亲一口。
OK，摸他。
对，我记得。
别，
尼克不在，
干。
保 AD，
慢点，先走。看我一下。
慢点来，
先走。
AD 没闪，
慢点。
打，
别急。
慢点，
看一下。
走。
OK，别。
慢点。保护路这个，保AD。
开 AD，
来，一波，